It's Sloth, and today's deck is actually so awesome that I cannot wait to share with you guys. This is basically a Super Friends Bant deck, and you can already guess what is the big card here, Brokers Ascendancy. Some card that is pretty decent, and it works so well in this deck. And yeah, we actually make so much tokens, and we make so much stuff everywhere that it's hard to combat for even the value decks. You will see in some of the games that we can outvalue enemy control decks with this one. So I'm really excited about this one, and it felt really like it was really fun playing with this deck. It seems to have pretty decent matchup against Boros, just because you have so many creatures and you have just so much value on top of the stuff. And Elspeth, the fact that you can create a life linker and just make sure that you don't lose to burn is just so huge. And Emperor, like 4 of them, also makes it that you gain so much life. You will see in one of the games. One of the games, I won't spoil it too much, but basically it was Emperor against Boros, and you will see how it went. You can already a bit guess, I guess. So the deck is sweet. The deck is really powerful, and we have a lot of small synergies because Brokers Ascendancy works basically best with the small tokens and the Planewalkers, right? Because it puts the counters at the end step, and you want to maximize both of them. So what is the better way than to have Planewalkers that create small creatures? So for example, the Wandering Emperor, the main one, as creating samurais, and when you play it main phase, this is one of the decks when you actually play Wandering Emperor sometimes main phase, just to get the double benefit, because having a 3 loyalty Planewalker and 3 vigilance samurai is actually so huge, instead of just having, you know, two loyalty Planewalker and 2 samurai. That's a big difference, especially against some kind of like creature based decks that those stats really matter. And extra loyalty means that the Emperor might not die, or even if it dies, enemy needs to overreact to it, which also happens very often. And then you can just sacrifice this Planewalker and suddenly it hit you for like 10 damage or something crazy like this, because normally it would hit your face. So we also have Esika's Chariot, extremely great card, especially in this deck. And don't forget, when you cast it and you have the Ascendancy, you can actually crew it main phase if you don't suspect enemy will attack with anything, and if you think he doesn't have removal, of course, for the artifacts or creatures, whatever. Creatures, actually. So you can create this as a creature, and at the end step you will buff both cats and also the Esika's Chariot. This also is true for the layer of the Hydra, because you can make it a creature for just 2 extra mana, and suddenly every Broker's Ascendancy will put a counter on this. If you have 2 or more, like this is insane power for free, basically. You of course need to watch out for removal, so be vigilant when you do it. Alright, this was the small stuff. The big stuff, Nico Aris. Interesting one. It's not the biggest player in the deck, but we want multiple different Planewalkers because Tamiyo can bring them back. And Tamiyo is a huge star for this deck because we want to get way to maximize the value from the exile, right? The minus ability. This can bring any other Planewalker from the deck. And if you cast her for 5 mana, you can actually do it the same turn. That's why we have so many, like 4 and 3 Planewalkers. You can bring back the Emperor, you can bring back Teferi, you can bring back the Nico Aris for 3 mana, for 3 loyalty, sorry. And they will be tokens, so you can play them along the original one, I believe. Yeah, let's read the wording. Create a token. Yeah, it's a copy, so you can have both. And that's insane. Like, the value that you get from Tamiyo is just so huge in this deck, and she is a great Planewalker. It's one of my all-time favorite Planewalkers, the Tamiyo Completed Sage. I think she brings so much to the table. The only thing that is a bit gimmicky is this ultimate. So this is one of the few Planewalkers that you don't always ultimate when you can. Very often the +1 is a bit better because it gives you long-term value. And if they can answer the notebook, even for like with like Portable Hall, this 1 mana artifact completely destroys your ultimate. So be careful about it. Do it only when you don't sacrifice Tamiyo most of the time, or when you are sure that you can protect it or enemy cannot remove it. Alright, so a lot of Planewalkers, we have Sanctuary Wardens because it also benefits from everything. It can remove counters, and we have a lot of counters, and it creates a small creature that will also grow with Ascendancy. So everything here grows every single turn, and the Broker Ascendancy really shines in this deck. I think the other big thing that we want to discuss is Depopulate. The card that very often is not played because it has a downside, right? The enemy has multicolored creatures, so he draws a card. But in this deck, it's just improved Wrath of God. In the worst case, most of the time, you both draw a card. In the best scenario, you draw a card and enemy doesn't. And this happens a lot because, as you know, a lot of like aggressive decks, of course we still have mono white, mono green, things like this, but even against Boros, very often they have one colored creatures like Initiate, Kumano and Adversary or something like this, and there's no multicolored creature in the board and you just sweep everything. And we have Citizen's Crowbar, a card that you won't see very often for a good reason, and Courier's Briefcase. They both make a duo colored citizen. So this is why we play this, because this even ramps us into Depopulate, which is insane in some of the matchups, especially on the draw. This is the difference between winning and losing the game, this one single turn. And the fact that you draw card very often helps you hit this one land drop for the future turn that gives you a smooth game for the rest of the game, right? And Citizen's Crowbar, I was on the fence with this card, and you can play the other thing. There's like this 2 mana something like sorcerer with flashback that creates 2 tokens. They seem to benefit better from the Broker's Ascendancy, but the reason we have this over the other is Tamiyo, because this is a permanent. You can play Tamiyo, and just for 2 loyalty you can create basically a 2/2 creature. Because when the token from this card enters battlefield, it creates a creature, it attaches to the creature, so suddenly you have not only 1 permanent, but actually 2 permanents. And you can still, use the ability to destroy some artifact or enchantment. And we don't really play like typical control that we have Devastating Master or something like this. So sometimes enemy might have teleportation cycles, something annoying that you cannot answer, so this actually fills this hole. But the main purpose is just getting a free creature, and when you can cast it and get a blocker, it's pretty insane because basically Tamiyo protects itself then. So that's why we have it. Of course it can hit Wedding Announcement because it's non-permanent as well. So the sky is the limit with this card. The whole deck is built around Tamiyo basically, and I think it really fills the role really well. This is a very strong deck, and we went into Diamond with it, so it has to be good, right? And honestly, I think in Mythic it's still a good contender. The Depopulate makes it really flexible, because you play like a control deck a bit, but you have so much value that it's hard to compete even with control decks. Like when you have 2 or 3 Planewalkers, like what enemy is supposed to do? And Farewell is a thing very often. So a lot of control decks skip on this Planewalker distraction because it's not as common maybe right now as some aggro decks. So you can capitalize on this, and if the meta is not anti-Planewalker, they just cannot do anything about it. And when Elspeth ultimates, when Tamiyo ultimates and Teferi ultimates, they are in for some serious trouble. So that's the deck introduction. If you like the deck, if you like the channel, don't forget to subscribe. It really does help. The feedback from you guys was awesome. I'm reading all the comments. I will try my best to answer all of them, and I really do appreciate like all the positive comments and all the comments, right? Even the other ones. But it's really cool of you, and I appreciate your time and interest, and I think we have something here going on, right? So thank you for sticking to the channel. It is really appreciated, and if you like it, subscribe if you aren't already. So with that being said, let's go into the games. I think they are pretty cool, and enjoy some Boros smashing, which also did happen. Alright, and I forgot to mention the stats on this deck. You need to believe me. We won 4 games and lost 2 of them. So basically 67% win rate. And I think that's decent. That's the feeling I get from the deck. So let's go into the games. Alright, so we have some ramp, I guess. We will take this. I like Depopulate. Yeah, and we will get additional cards from the Briefcase. Turn 2 will be a problem. But you know, we will work around it. And also, thanks to the deals, look how much fun we have. And I'm spending way too much on this crap. It's horrible. Enemy decided it's not aggressive matchup and they can cycle the card, and they're probably right, to be fair. So what is the play? I think Brokers Ascendancy. However, yeah, let's start with the Briefcase. That means that we could play the Ascendancy, but you never know. Like, enemy has blue and 3 untapped mana, and like evidently it's some kind of control deck. So we interesting. Let's attack. That's literally 0 priority. I guess we could go for Elspeth, but it could be an extreme blowout. Enemy didn't play anything yet. We have really good options. We need to take one of them. So this was Artifact. Let's go for Artifact. It creates the most power on the board. And it's really problematic, like, to remove. And it works great with Ascendancy, so yeah, enemy might have a sweeper. So far he doesn't seem to have. Alright, so definitely let's screw it. And let's see what the enemy will do. We have a lot of tokens. And we are going crazy with the power because, you know, we have a Esika's Chariot. That's all it takes for a lot of games. Okay, I see. Let's put some fun here, maybe. Well, I guess Wedding Announcement could be great. If enemy plays Sweeper, like, they have to play Sweeper, right? It's what, 6-7 damage next turn? I'm thinking around something that will prevent the Sweeper consequences, let's say. Broker's Ascendancy is huge, but then we don't really have anything if he sweeps. Planeswalker seems pretty decent. I think we'll do it like this. So if enemy wants to counter it, that's okay. And we went for the 4 mana version. First of all, this is insanely important versus Juari. There is a chance he had Juari, and we just avoided the counter spell. And yes, we don't care about the rest. We submit 0, we just want something that will get Esika's Chariot back.
You do not write this story.
Memory Deluge. Okay, so he's looking for the sweeper. He's looking for a sweeper. And I would guess that he will find it. Yep. But we draw a card, which is awesome, because that's basically our strategy. And he had Juari. If we cast it for 5 mana, we would get countered. That's so good. I'm so proud right now. Alright, so I would love to create some stuff on the board, to be perfectly honest with you guys. Wandering Emperor is okay, I guess. Okay, I think this is the play. Enemy is tapped out. We know exactly what will happen. I would crew the Chariot if I could. But of course we can't. And I honestly think we go for this. Like, we need to create as much pressure as possible. And honestly, the Briefcase is pretty darn huge here. So first you always want the Wedding Announcement. Man, I just got scared that I'm not recording. But fortunately we are. And look, we didn't really invest anything into the creatures, and suddenly we have like 4-4 that will become a 6-6. So that's a problem for the enemy. Farewell. Okay, okay, I see. That's a good one. Probably the best he could have. Because it's also exile. But, you know, we have a lot of green, so it means this is white. And I think we go for the Elspeth. Enemy is tapped out, so we need to ramp up the pressure. And let's get something.
This is my city.
Yeah, pretty easy choice. And here we don't really have a choice, so let's just +1. And let's start having those tokens. With +1 from Elspeth, this will be a problem for the enemy. Like, we are sneaking Planewalkers whenever he is tapped out. So he probably has a lot of counter spells. He is just always pressured to use them in the wrong... Like, he cannot open the mana, right? Because then he dies, so he needs to tap out. That's how you want to pressure every control deck. Like, always create... See? So many Jewelries. Okay, that's actually a pretty good one for him. Alright, so... what are we doing here? The old question. I will go for +1.
Let's do this together.
I'm tempted to go for the Vigilance, and I think I will. We could also go for flying. Yeah, flying is just better. Alright, I convinced myself. Let's kill the fairy, because I do not want the enemy to have Planewalkers. It's only our thing, you know?
We will meet again.
We go for +1, because why not? Man, honestly, he might have Devastating Mastery. He has 4 white, and like in my versions I play at least 1 Devastating Mastery because Farewell is so bad at answering Planewalkers. I'm not extremely sure about this one. Maybe we wait. Enemy has to do something about our stuff. Wedding Announcement shield counter doesn't matter because Farewell exiles, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, even this. But, oh, that's interesting. I thought it would... oh, right, it's 3 mana cost. I'm just bad. So yeah, that's okay. Do we go for the Wandering Emperor? This mana is so sus. It's like Devastating Master, right? Do we take 1 damage? I don't have much value in hand, so I don't want to go all in. And our creature is better than their creature, so we just take this one. Like, this could work, but if we play it and the enemy just sweeps the board, we are in extreme trouble. Alright, and now we give the Vigilance, right?
Show 'em what you got.
We need to make this guy into like huge Angel thing. Because of the exile we cannot take anything back from the graveyard. At this point with Tamiyo we would start doing it. That's how we play versus control, right? Enemy wants to Memory Deluge so much. Like, I guess we get the token, right? So then enemy is pressured to do something next turn. I would really love the information whether he runs the Devastating Master, because it is a card that some versions just don't run. Depopulate is not great. If we are to use it, it will be when we have a multicolored creature, just to draw a card. But you know, so far, like, we have stuff. Enemy will draw a lot. And that's a problem, definitely. Man, we are getting a bit flooded with the lands. Like, we don't really draw much cards, and we are on par with the enemy lands, actually. Portable Hall. Alright. That's an interesting one. Like, This farewell was so devastating. We had everything going on for us. But at least he cannot pressure the Planewalkers. Alright, we have a draw, so I think we do it right now. Like, he needs a hard counter spell, and this is something that will counter something anyway.
You'll be safer.
So this way we create way more pressure, and the samurais are, you know, 3-3. So he's thinking now. What is he thinking about? That is my question. What is this? I don't think he has like Fateful Absence or stuff. He would play it already.
We must protect the people.
At least it has cycling, right? Let's go for blue. I guess. We can tap those in turns. That's actually pretty good. So then this doesn't untap, and we can tap this one if he doesn't attack. That's really
You
good.
do not write this story.
So let's go like this.
We've got the edge in this fight.
And the counter will go here. Huh, I'm not sure. What is the difference? This one is better target, right? So we probably want this guy. Vigilance is actually pretty important here.
Hero inside you.
Lifelink won't really matter. Vigilance is huge though. Because it lets us pressure enemy. Like look, it's 7 damage. Like just from 2 tokens that are basically free. So probably a lot of marches in hand. That's interesting. Yeah, march, obviously. Everything as we expected. Okay, and he's still taking some damage. Good. I think we cycle right now. I really want my cards. Wow. And if like I think we run only 25 lands. Like we are drawing a lot of them. I'm getting a bit scared. Like at some point we need to start drawing cards. Okay, I see.
Now you've done it. That's coming. May your blade strike.
So he will be able to kill the Emperor if he wants, probably. Removal for the Samurai. So my idea is to deplete his, you know, board, and we will depopulate next turn. Okay, that's finally a decent draw. Let's go for white, because our full hand is white. Okay, that's interesting one. We will sweep the board. So that's a given. So it means that we +1 for flying, I think. Enemy still has something. It's probably second march. But you know, let's see what the enemy will do. At some point we will start having stuff in the graveyard. Alright. Let's start doing stuff that we want. He might counter the first one, but I hope the second... Oh, that went easier than I thought. Okay, and we make new samurais. We want to pressure him every freaking single turn. We don't really have anything in the graveyard. So what are the counter spells? Make disappear. I don't want to waste this, honestly. I think it's a... Tamiyo is a big problem for him. And he doesn't seem to have many ways to remove the Planewalkers anyway. Like, if he has Devastating Master, I guess he wins. Then we have only Wedding Festivity. Okay, that's fine. Emperor is manageable. Especially that we can make both of our creatures not really tapping out. Okay, this is scary. Memory Deluge is scary when he has infinite mana. So let's see what he drew. That was pretty quick. Okay, so the Samurai. And now he will attack the Planewalker, I guess. Oh, interesting.
Protect the people.
Like, we are getting a lot of value. I'm not convinced if -1 was the play, but maybe, maybe. Hard to judge. Okay, so he kills the Emperor, which is actually really fine.
Much to learn.
Let's do the ultimate, because it will make everything else really cheap. Let's activate, let's draw a card. This is what we need. We need to start getting this value. And now he probably wished he had the portable whore. Now it's not so hot anymore. And let's go for Depopulate and see if it works. Well, man, I was so surprised why it's so cheap. And also we can see the colored mana is actually making a difference. We need 6 white for this turn. Negate. That's not perfect. But it is expected at some point. So we get 1 token from the wedding. I think we play the Emperor. I'm not sure if we go for Elspeth minus. Yeah, I think we just plus. I think we just should plus.
Let your blade do the talking.
Show him what you got.
And it will have first strike. Because enemy can give something first strike. And I want to make sure that he needs to remove it. And we still have our Emperor that is pretty cheap. And we have 2 creatures, so basically now he cannot attack. He needs to start doing stuff. It means he needs to tap out the mana. Of course he has another one. Alright, so artifacts. Man, like, he's really drawing well. Usually you play 2 or 3, so that's really good draw at the top 30. Yeah, I guess that's the case. So that's why I didn't want to sacrifice Tamiyo for this. As you can see, having Tamiyo is just so much better. Okay, and that's pretty good. Because I think he's out of gas slowly. Do we? Yeah, I think it's important. So I will go a bit all in. Because it seems that he's completely out of gas. He doesn't have any instant here. And we can, oh boy, we can start doing stuff finally. We go for another sweep force. So right now he's forced to sweep. We are doing this. Alright, we have Vigilance. Lifelink, I think it's First Strike. First Strike gives us a lot of advantage. I think he has nothing, so yeah. We just make Citizen Crowbar, the card that we will probably never see anywhere. So a quick creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Like, I guess. It's really good, it might not seem like it, but you can get it for 2 from Tamiyo, and suddenly you have another creature that will also grow. Man, like those memory delusions. Just stop, make it stop. The good part is that he needs a lot of mana to keep them going. Okay? But I would prefer a better top deck, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. And enemy has Hull, which is a big problem because it answers whatever we had in mind. And we cannot tap it because it's not a creature. Man, this is actually awful because the deck is full of removal, and if he can hit Elspeth for 7, that... like, this is the perfect turn. I'm so mad right now, because we would ultimate Elspeth next turn and he has no way of preventing it. And he just got it. This is one of the few. And I'm pretty sure he has ways to, you know, do the stuff. Maybe we should just actually no, Depopulate wouldn't give us card then, so no, never mind. Oh man, that's so hard. We definitely need the token, just to have some way. I don't want to -3. Do we actually go for the ultimate? It seems awful. Like, then the sweeper, how many sweepers he had? 1 Depopulate, double Farewell. In half of the deck. If he casts Memory Deluge, he can go for land and Depopulate. That's not great. That's not great. I'm really not sure how to play this one. Let's do it. Let's do it. This way we force Leafar next turn, unless enemy has another perfect draw.
The angels have returned, so you better give up.
We tap whatever. And we equip this guy. Exactly this guy. Because why not, right? Man, this was so hard. The farewells. Like, the farewells, it's so hard to combat them. Okay, that's a good sign. If he starts going 1-for-1, it's actually really good. Yeah, he has no answer. I think there is a high chance we will win this right now. Enemy is definitely looking for answer, but he has only 3 mana, so he needs not only Depopulate, not Farewell, but also a land. That's a land? Is that Depopulate? What's up? Is that enough? That's a big attack. Wandering Emperor, okay. I don't do the math, but I think we are okay. We can also kill our own creature, preventing the life gain, so I'm pretty sure we win. Enemy is tapped out, so the game is over. I'm pretty sure we can just win it. It's 12 damage anyway, so we kill this. Anyway. But just to show our domination.
I've learned much during my travels.
No.
Let me
We get the life. Your ability fizzles. And you get 2 damage more. But even if we didn't do it, it would be perfectly fine. Man, we actually won this. It was so hard. Like, yeah, he had really good draw at the start. Man, we draw a lot of lands for a 25 lander. Like, we are actually flooded regularly. This doesn't seem like a good hand. I will actually mulligan it. Okay. You never get rid of Esika's Chariot. Depopulate might be game winning. It's either Wedding Announcement or Nico Aris. I think we are on the draw, so the Planeswalkers are worse. And Wedding Announcement is over time, just a bit more power. Yeah, Depopulate will be such a huge card here. Of course we need to hit the land. If we don't hit the land, the game will be over anyway. As usually versus aggro. But I think if we hit the land and Depopulate, like, I don't like giving the card, right? But other than this, it's pretty okay. And we probably want to save this token just to draw a card. So in the worst case, we're gonna go 1-for-1. I really like this part of the deck, like the fact that you can Wrath of God with upside is just insane. It's just insane. Huh. That's interesting. I actually think we have way more options now. Ha. So what is the enemy play? Raiju, right? Either Raiju or white mana into Cavalier. So this will be a 3-3. And this might be a 4-4. So then what? Then we make a token, double block Raiju, then take 6, and we heal up to 7, and we exile this. But we have nothing in board, right? That doesn't seem very good. I think it's Wedding Announcement to keep it, to start, you know, to keep it going. Like, a Wedding Announcement turn is always a bit rough, because basically you pay 3 mana to get a 1-1. I think we play like this. So enemy is feeling that he's forced to play more into the board. Oh, and he cannot. That's interesting. Alright. I actually really enjoy what's going on. Depopulate would be such a good play, maybe. We also get the blocker from the announcement, right? Yeah, I think that's the play. Oh, right, and we also get to draw a card. Man, I'm talking about it and I already forgot. So the reason I've playing the Depopulate is that after the basically exchange, we get a free token. I fear that he will kill the token though. From the play. Oh man, I'm actually happy he didn't. He would just wait until the end step and target this token, but he didn't. And I think that was the superior play. Like, of course you get this scry, but yeah, he just got nothing. Nice, we actually won this as well. And that was our promo game. Guys, if you want to hit diamonds, smash this deck. Oh man, the YouTuber stuff. But yeah, obviously this deck is good enough to hit Mythic, Diamond. But to be honest, like Mythic probably is not out of the way as well. Shuffler is definitely fine. What the hell is this hand? Oh man, are we taking this? Like, it's not bad. Like, we can get rid of a lot of them. I will keep it. It's so hilarious that we will just take it. Oh man. So we definitely need to start with this round, otherwise we cannot play on Curve and we cannot play Emperor. You know what? In some matchups, Emperor will be amazingly strong. And it might be one of them. Alright, this is the plane. And this is the Briefcase. And I actually was lucky because I didn't think that I need the green mana. I just randomly selected one of them. And fortunately I have chosen the right one. But yeah, definitely something that you need to be careful of. As we don't have basic forests too much, right? Yeah, so that's the attack. Sure, we take it. I think in this situation it's best we could do. Let's see what the enemy will do. Kumano will be a bit of a problem, but you know, we have quite a lot of Emperors, and the fact that we can cast them all on Curve with some ramp and being on the play is quite insane. So this might be the Cavalier, right? Aspirant, okay, that's actually really good. It's on Kumano, right? So we double... Oh, that's so... No. It will go to Kumano. But that's still very okay for us. This is the problem. This is actually the problem, because it means that he probably has the play with fire. Let's check the priority. Oh man, we need to do something right now. It's painful, because I wanted to -1, then double block something, and then -2 on this in the future turn. But if he has play with fire, that is a perfect answer. And then we probably want to exile but more, right? Like, we definitely play this. Yeah, there is a priority. So we need to go for -2. Oh man, that was a big problem actually for us. Here I guess this is better, because it exiles stuff. So why would we want to have stuff exiled? And now he will play with fire probably? No? I guess he doesn't have to, it was used already. And I think we take 3. It's not the biggest damage, right? Next turn he needs to put the how do you say it? Counter on Aspirant, I guess? Unless he kills the thing. Yeah. Expected. Okay, definitely this. You know what? Like, we are having very good options still. Like, this is pretty obvious what we have, right? Yeah. So if we play this and -2, I think we still wait. It will be Cavalier or Raiju, which is awful. But I think we get better value, and if he step out, like, there is a limit to his instants, right? So at some point he won't have them. Yep, exactly, and that's perfect block for the Samurai. We just want to go 2 for 1. It's not blue mana, so this will enter into the battlefield and it will create something. I assume he has some kind of direct damage as well, but this way we force him to use it and we still go for removal basically. He might remove the token, but then it's okay. Yeah, I think we do it like this. He will probably react in some way. That's what I expect from him. I cannot believe that he doesn't have like a direct burn spell. Yeah, that's the second possibility, but we still get -2 and his turn is pretty awful right now.
This isn't going to go how you think.
Oh, we will see. We will definitely see. Alright, that's actually very, very big difference. So do we go for the announcement? Like, we don't have a lot of HP anymore, so we need to be careful about this one. We could go for +1 and create a token. But then something huge will come next turn, so I really think that we still have to do it. We won't have time to cycle this. I think now we make the samurai, and it's actually better. Like, we got the double value, right? We traded 1 token for the card, then part of it for this card, and we still get the samurai. And I think the enemy will think, no freaking way, this crazy guy has 3rd Emperor on the way. So that's what I... Like, this is actually a strategy. If you have a lot of cards, in like the same cards, that is extremely unlikely, you play like on Gambit, right? Enemy, okay, maybe it's not a Gambit, it's the movie Gambit, but in reality that has no sense and I shouldn't talk about it so long. So basically you want to go all in on this play that you don't have another one, because it's just ridiculous. Why would you have another one, right? Because he cannot attack with the aspirant. And right now he's like, what the hell, man? Are you serious? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I feel your pain. Like, even though it's Boros, this guy seems pretty cool. Like, I can understand the pain.
My judgment is
Do we have something cool? Yeah, I don't would. Everything else would be a bit mean. Alright, so I really want the Emperor right now. This is the good creature. And we want to attack with 1 only. Enemy doesn't have enough mana to activate, so we attack like this. It has Vigilance, so that's the case. That's the reason we attack. I think that we should win this game pretty nicely. And the mana is perfect, right? We need to make triggers in correct order. And he might scoop right now, because the power that we will be getting from those cards is just insane. So the first, you always make the token. So first, always the token, and then you put the counters. Otherwise, you just lose so much value for no reason. Yeah. And now it's getting scary for them. Like, they grow by 1 a turn, and we grow by 2 a turn, and we can exile stuff when he attacks. So that's really scary. We generally don't want to trade, because we grow way more than he does every single turn. So the correct play probably would be to activate the Den and go insanely all in to force the trade. Oh, that's actually pretty good as well. So Valorous Stance to kill the Samurai, right? Alright, that's actually really good for him. What? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's the creature that forced the bad trades for him. So I'm a bit scared. Let's see the attacks. They are pretty important right now. Like, we will double block. Enemy has 0 cards and he's tapped out, so we know exactly what will happen. Okay, so I guess we could keep it around. Interesting choice, because this also makes tokens. But I really think this is the correct play. Like, we force him to overdo it a bit. Yeah, and now you can only trade for 1, and we get the next token from the announcement, and we still have the cards, right? There is a chance that we'll draw something that matters. This actually is not the worst draw. Alright, first the token. This is so important right now. Yeah, 7 power on the board. But we are still not out of the woods. We can trade favorably, but still. Like, enemy is spamming a lot of creatures. Yeah, so this goes here. And now we need to decide. This is actually something that we can decide upon. Like, is the Den better? Like, he will attack with another Den, right? So I think this is better. Because he can attack only with one of them. He cannot activate 2, and if we kill this one, he just activates the other one, and it's 0 difference for the full next turn. But the fact that he has this creature less is actually huge. Yeah, I think this is a really good decision. Yeah, sure. Like, I mean, sure. Yeah. We are not scared of direct burn. Yeah, we are angry. Alright, so let's make sure that he gets what we mean. That's a really good top deck, not gonna lie. And that's a Briefcase. So right now we need to start attacking. We can force the block, but then he just gives up this one. This is his turn to kill us. Like, next turn he can kill us if he draws perfectly. Maybe. Alright, so he activates the Den. He puts the counter on whatever. And we need to block 3. 1, 2, 3. And he attacks with the token, and we get hit for 1 directly, and he has, I think, 2 mana. Yeah, I think 1 attack is okay. Because next turn, like, he will probably take it. And it means that the next turn we have so much pressure that we force multiple blocks. Of course, every single attack means he loses a lot of creatures, so he just needs 1 big attack, hopefully to kill us. That's a perfect draw, because he needed to 2-drop to go with the Den. So that's actually a perfect draw. It also gives the counter and also gives another damage from Raiju, because this will make a modified creature. So he drew extremely well this turn. This is the best card he could hope for. And we'll get hit by this small token. We kill the rest though. So we go like this, and this, right? Yeah. Enemy is, like, I think the coolest Boros player I have seen so far. Even though he's Boros, even after all those top decks, like, he's pretty cool. So we win, right? Yeah. Let's make the Crowbar. I think that's the turning point. We actually can equip something else. It will matter, because it means that this also kills him. Yeah, and that's the play. Oh, he was so cool. Yeah, he's the bro. He can watch the channel and he will be welcome. He really let us go with the big number, and I do appreciate it. That was the most friendly Boros game I have ever in my life. Playing against PR squared and intellectual. So I would expect some control deck. There's a witch. I also have the witch. I think she's pretty cool. So I would expect a slower matchup. Maybe I got baited, but maybe I won't. We don't have blue, but we have Teferi at turn 4. And that's it, right? So much effort, and in the end it's just the same old deck every single time. I think I got so baited. Yeah, I think enemy. This one maybe even deserves the win if he gets it. Just for the bait effort that he put in. Alright, jokes aside, I think it should be a Esika's Chariot, right? I'm not sure how we get back to the game, because we are obviously insanely behind, we are on the draw. against Boros, and we don't have... Wow, that's so good for them. Alright, so... Honestly, I'm not sure if Esika's Chariot is even good enough. Like, he will have something with 4 attack. Oh, okay. This is what we wanted. This is actually what we wanted. Can we be more greedy? No, we can't. That's a simple answer to a simple question. That was a pretty beast top deck, not gonna lie. If not the card, we would be probably out of this game. But still, we are not out of the woods. Like, we are still tapped out with nothing, while the enemy has 4 mana and half of the deck with high. Oh yes, that's so good! Every single time enemy just uses something that doesn't give him value every turn, it's just 3 damage and that's it. And this is the first turn in this game when we are ahead. We will see how much we go, because we missed on the 4th land drop and that's horrible. That's actually horrible. I'm also a bit curious what he has. Okay, that's good. It might be double land or something crazy like this. We really need to hit the land. Like, please. Bro, the land. That's good. Alright. Okay. So, now we have really options. I like the idea of Esika's Chariot. We could also go for the Emperor, but we don't get the full value, and... Well, I guess we get... Because we get the token, right? I still think Esika's Chariot is better. So, hear me out. Even though enemy might, you know, grow a bit, I think it's a bit better, because Esika's Chariot is not scalable. Like, this can exile any kind of creature. Esika Chariot is basically a 4/4. So you need small creatures to trade with it. And he's going for it. What a champ. What a champ. He only has 1 counter. Let's go like this. And I actually think we champ block with the token. We do it like this because this can hit enchantments and stuff. Yeah, and we have enough position in board that we can waste a bit of it just to heal. Because having 0 HP is how we lose the game. I completely don't mind it. This is perfect. We got the full value right now. That's really good for us. Okay, we have options. We definitely have a lot of options. So probably Wandering Emperor is the best one, right? Like, I'm thinking, because the game is won, I'm pretty sure about it. We just need to not mess it up. The options is Elspeth or the Emperor. I think Emperor is better. This is probably Raiju. He might draw a land, play Raiju, then he puts the counter here, it's 3/3. This is 3/3. And then we double block one of them, exile the second one, we get 7, back to 9, and then we win. Oh right, and we also get this. So I think it's the Emperor. We do not attack, because we have lifelink with Elspeth. The moment we close the game that we don't need to defend, we are not scared about direct damage at all. And this is why the Esika's Chariot is so good. This is the reason, like, that's why I didn't, yeah? See? Told you! Exactly what we expected. And he will scoop exactly as we expected as well. It's actually better because we have 3/3. So even his attack is pretty bad. And now, this is how we roll. Now we play Elspeth. Enemy has nothing. And this is actually huge because we need vigilance, because we want double lifelink. And that's all she wrote. We actually won this game. Man, I'm so proud of us. The Depopulate was obviously a huge top deck, but the fact that we were able to predict exactly what he will do and keep the Emperor as a backup while the Chariot gave us this raw power. The turn when he lost the game was when he invested 2 cards into Answering Chariot, and cats are still in the board. He needed to kill the cats and hope we cannot crew with anything else. That was his play. When he trades with the Chariot, we'll basically get 8/8 in stats for 4 mana, and that's something he cannot compete with.